Good morning. It's another episode of Yes Way Jose, and of course, you get to keep listening to my voice, and it is Jose, and I'm excited. First of all, I just like to remind people I'm the mayor of Shepherdsville, but we have so many good people doing a lot of good things, so we got a special guest for you today. But, you know, before we get into most of that, I almost forgot. Can we get an update on the Gaga Ball team? I mean, how'd you finish in the tournament?
We won.
We
won the championship, yeah.
That's freaking amazing.
I have a Gaga Ball ring now. Yeah.
You got how do you order that? And then how big is the ring? I mean, most of these rings for these champion things are like it's like a hand ring.
I mean, it's in like children's sizes, so it doesn't fit me, but it's a nice display.
The coach doesn't get a ring. You worked hard with these kids. I mean, you wanted two different age groups. I mean,
I was a player. I wasn't a coach. I was a player. Yeah, I was a star player.
I can see that now. With 8-year-olds, I'm sure you did really well.
I just didn't show my birth certificate or anything.
So it's like the Little League World Series thing going on? Yeah. Some things that happen in New York. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, congratulations on the Gaga Ball. I'm looking forward to your next season. You're recruiting. I know you got a lot of things you're going to be doing to get some new kids. But, the one kid with the beard on the team, that was the only question I had about that.
He hit puberty early.
Yeah, real early. But anyway, congratulations. But on the same funny note here, we're going to share something else with you. A lot of people, would like to do, throw a pie in the face of the mayor. Well, that actually happened. We had a beautification fundraiser, and one of the things was when they put this together last year was everybody would bake cakes, and we would raffle them off, and we had some silent auction items, and we had a pasta salad dinner, and it was really good. It turned out really good. Vicky and her group did a great job at Parakeet Springs. But one of the caveats was that mayor was going to bake a cake, and I can tell you in my life, I've baked 2 cakes. One last year in the fundraiser, and this year. And last year we had some concerns because when somebody bought my cake, they were going to put a pie in my face. Well, you don't leave whipped cream out for a while. I don't think that, and so it became basically a sloshy looking whipped cream smash I got last year. So I filed a complaint. I got a lawyer, and we restructured here. So now we don't have a liquid-looking whipped topping. So anyway, it was great with this year. Again, one of the biggest, achievements that I have when it comes to baking a cake, I baked 2 cakes, okay? This year was a banana nut bundt cake, and it turned out really good. My supervisor was my wife. She was mean to me a couple of times during the instruction stage.
Sometimes you got to be.
Yes, I don't like that brutality, that raising your voice to me. I'm a little sensitive to that stuff. But anyway, in the completion of the cake, the real achievement for me was nobody died. Nobody got sick. I haven't heard anything from the Board of Health about my cake because they bought the cake. Once they buy the cake after it's been purchased, they get the chance to put a pie in my face, and they did. And then what they did was that wasn't enough. Hey, we can do this again. I'm standing there with a whole head full of whipped topping going, who made that decision? So, again, they sold the cake again. So we actually made $500 on the cake that I made. And, again, my achievement was nobody got sick or anything like that. And we raised some good money. We raised almost $5,000 for the beautification. And I just want to tell you all that because we have a group of people that are helping the city work on beautification in different places, right there around the Wendy's areas with the flower beds. We've got some other places we're doing things downtown. So a great partnership with them. But I want to have some fun with that. It was a great time. So anyway, it's always about me. I've learned that real quick. Oh, the show's about me. Oh.
The show has your name in it.
Well, that's kind of nice that it has my name in it. But I just like to make sure I'm always part of it because, everybody that knows me knows I love attention. Just like I love the sun, I love attention. But anyway, we got some really cool things going on. But we have a really exciting guest today. We've been trying to bring in different guests that are actually what I call shakers and movers in the community. And we got a great one today. Her name is Cortney Burton. So good morning, Cortney.
Good morning, Mayor.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. Listen, it's easier if I just not talk more and let Cortney do a few things. But we wanted Cortney to at least talk about herself, her life in the community, the things that she's working on. So we're going to give her lots of time. We're going to interject a few things here, but I'm going to give her the stage for a little bit. And, it's really hard for me to give up the microphone, right, Eli?
Yes.
We know this.
We all know that. So we're going to let Cortney. Cortney, good morning. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know a lot of the community know you, but get started and show us what you got.
Sure. My name is Cortney Milam Burden. So I'm born and raised here in Shepherdsville. Probably a good way to capture my childhood. My first day of school was at Cedar Grove Elementary.
Oh, wow.
And I graduated from Bullitt Central High School. So I really have been around the Bullitt County school system. I appreciate everything that the community did, and I can certainly appreciate where we are now with our school system because we lived it and we kind of traveled through that in a much different time. So I grew up here. As soon as I graduated from Bullitt Central, I left for the United States Navy.
Wow, right after high school.
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
That's a big move. Where did you go? Where did you get stationed at?
I did my boot camp was in Great Lakes, Illinois, right outside of Chicago.
Okay.
I did some training in Tennessee. I spent a couple of years at the Oceana Master Jet Base in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And then the United States Navy transferred me to Sigonella, Sicily. And I spent my last 2 years serving in Sicily.
And you served how many years?
6 total.
6. No, that's awesome. And you told me about the Dead Sea.
Yes.
Oh, you got to talk about that. We'll have to throw that into that, Eli. It's really pretty cool. I was pretty amazed about the conversation. But 6 years.
Yes.
So thank you very much for your service there.
It was my pleasure.
What was the things that you learned about being in the service? What was the things that you really stood out to you?
Immediately after being born and raised in Bullitt County, you get put basically into a melting pot of cultures and personalities. And I was pretty protected being born and raised in this area. So the first thing that I immediately began to absorb is the community, the cultures, the different people, the different religions. There was so much. So that was a big change. And I was so appreciative for that experience. But then just also the structure, time management, understanding how to follow orders, and then eventually giving those. It's a really big deal to be able to manage your time and to be able to lead folks in a way that makes sense.
Foods. I always talk about food. So there's got to be a couple of foods that you got to talk about in all this cultural experience that you have.
Sure. So Sicily, I believe in my heart, I lived there in another life because I just felt like those were my people and that was my food and that is my everything about their culture I loved so much, but mostly I loved the food, the calamari, the swordfish, the seafood there. Obviously, that's a weird place to learn about seafood because, again, I didn't eat seafood when I was here.
Okay. Wow.
So it's to see calamari for the first time, like a fresh
calamari. Just so you know, Eli, that's not Taco Bell.
I like calamari, actually.
Right.
I do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're learning something about Eli. I didn't know he was expensive in his cultural experiences.
Yes.
All right.
So anyway, love the food, love the wine, love the culture. Just a lot of great experiences in the Navy.
Well, I think obviously it seems like it's been a very strong asset and a very big part of your life experiences. So I think just going around the world, I think that's a key for a lot of folks not understanding where we live and what the rest of the world is like.
It gives you an opportunity to be so appreciative to be here because even if you don't like the president, even if you're not happy with our government at this moment for one decision, women, we can drive, we can exchange money. And it's amazing to think there are people right now, there are countries right now where that cannot happen.
That's amazing. People forget that. I mean, I'm aware of that, but it's like a lot of times when people think about what we have here in this country, we need to make sure that we understand we do have our opportunities in getting things fixed, but guess what? We still live in the greatest country in the world.
It's true. The freedom here is really special, and
awesome.
You appreciate it more and more. When you travel outside the country, you come back and you're thankful for your freedoms, you're thankful for the roads, you're thankful for 24-hour Walmarts. Those are the things.
How about sewer systems?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to have to bring up that as far as topics, but a lot of people forget that as far as the rest of the world.
Just being able to drink water out of your faucet, that's a definitely something that most countries cannot do. So
well, we try to keep him off of that water that's in the drainage area. Eli, out front, that's not drinking water. I know
it's not flavored.
Sometimes I get confused.
I know. We're still trying to help you. It's really a pick on Eli Day because we don't have a person here. Travis, if you're listening and if you're going to understand, you're not here today. And we're going to make sure that you know that probably at different times through this thing today, the podcast.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Travis who? Travis who? Travis, are you here somewhere? We don't know where you're at.
Only one producer of this show.
Yeah, the one that's really counting right now.
Yep.
So, Cortney, after you get through with your military experience, you come home.
I did.
So talk a little bit about that and what you've been doing.
Yes, and I want to talk a little bit about the Montgomery GI Bill and the opportunity for college money. But I myself came home back to Shepherdsville, and I used every dollar of my GI Bill to get my education. I went to the University of Louisville and eventually received my bachelor's in business administration.
Oh, cool.
And the GI Bill paid for every dollar toward my books, my tuition. And it's a huge opportunity for folks like me who, I was young, I was motivated when I graduated. I wasn't hyper focused on one specific thing. I just wanted to grow. I wanted to gain some experience. So for folks who are young and you are not hyper focused on a specific career path, you don't know if college is for you at this moment, there's just such an opportunity in the United States military. And I really challenge anyone that is in that space, take a look, do some research. Find me, contact me. I'll be happy to put you in with someone who's an expert in the field of recruiting and getting folks into the right space, because it can change your life. It changed mine.
Your biggest thing that you mentioned was not knowing what you want to do and then spending money, getting out after 2 years and you have $100,000 worth of debt. And then next thing you know, you're just staying in that same spiral financially.
Exactly. Or you can be 18 years old, serve in the military for 4 years. You maybe take some classes and you also get credit for the boot camp and other classes you take. So now you're 22 years old, you're finished your military time. You probably have 1 or 2 semesters worth of credits, and you have $70,000 waiting for you to spend on your education.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And then we should always, I always look at first responders, our military. We take, these are the folks that take care of our country. I salute all of you for what you do. And I think that's a way to reward you as far as your future, making sure you have a bright future with it. Education is, we just always need to make sure that we try to set people up for success. And college is a very important piece. It's been emphasized through the years and years. It's not always that vocation. We're going to talk a bit, when we talk about our community, we talk about all the things we can do to set up our kids today with success. And success is a little different for each student that comes out of the high school. And as a young person's trying to make it, you're right. I think obviously offering that military service. Do you get paid on the side for being a recruiter? Just asking.
I do not.
Oh, and see, I thought there was a plug there, but thank you very much for your service. So now you're back. You got a college education, and you're back in. I am a practice administrator for a group of ophthalmologists here in Louisville. So we specialize in cataract surgery and glaucoma. And I've been there 16 years. I didn't know it was that. 16 years? Wow. 16. I work for the most amazing group of folks. He's 17.
I was going to say, that's almost longer than I've been alive.
I just wanted to throw that. So, yeah, we are not breaking any labor laws with having Eli here today. But, yeah, you got 16 years.
16 years.
That's the first thing I thought about, Eli.
Yeah, that's what I thought about, too.
That's amazing. So you've done a little bit. I know you're kind of like a regional manager for them, I'm not sure what position that's called.
So I'm the administrator for all 6 locations. So we have a group of physicians. We have both ophthalmologists and optometrists and about 100 staff. Okay. And we work hard. We are building it is a team, and we are a business, but we are also a family. Our retention is very high because we really focus on family, and it means a lot. And I'm so proud to be able to do that. My physicians and my owner group give me a lot of flexibility to build a culture.
Yeah, and we have a location here in town, and I went there, and they checked my eyes out. They couldn't do anything about my looks, but they said my eyes were okay at my age. So I said, "Can I get a nip and tuck?" He said, "You're in the wrong place, buddy. You're in the wrong place. This is just eyes right now. We don't do anything else."
Get you some extra large sunglasses.
Hey, that's not nice, Cortney. And so one of the things Cortney hasn't told you yet is she's the economic development advisor for the city, at least until this podcast is over.
I mean, you're amazing, and you do not need those large sunglasses.
That's right. I thought the atmosphere was going to change quickly here. But no, all kidding aside, she's got that. She's got a list of jobs. But anyway, for us, the biggest piece that and Cortney and I talked about the vision. She has the same vision I have for the community. And with having that, we have so many people with the same thought process. And what we talk a lot about is owning the community, right? I am Shepherdsville. Cortney put some things together, put a shirt together, and we want to have everybody be proud of Shepherdsville. So she's working with us. You want to list a few more of those things that you do here in this community?
Well, I would just like to thank the Bullitt County Chamber of Commerce and the American Legion Post 157, Active Heroes. All 3 of those businesses, all 3 of those nonprofits have given people like me an opportunity to grow with the community, to spread the message about what we're trying to do. At the end of the day, as a little girl that's walked the streets of that Buckman area, and we've seen it look so different than it did this time last year or 2 years ago, I keep thinking about pride. I want to be proud of my town. I want to be proud of my city and proud of my leaders. I want to be proud of the park. And what we're doing right now, while we are working so hard, is for people like my children and your grandchildren and Eli, who's 17.
My nieces and nephews right now.
Yeah, and
Eventually my kids.
And he's somebody's grandchild.
Exactly. We want them to grow up having pride in their community and being able to say, I am from Shepherdsville with a smile on their face and holding their head high. And I think we've missed that opportunity for a while, for decades actually. And to be able to be a part of this initiative, to have the energy and the focus and now the resources to put a beautiful park in down by the Salt River where families can enjoy, host events, host concerts. It's a concept I couldn't even grasp 5 or 6 years ago, and here we are doing it. I'm just ecstatic.
A lot of good stuff, and even something as simple as the basketball goes. I mentioned this, I think, in the last one. Eli, don't be laughing at me again. You
He's still sore.
But we are going to start doing videos, and then when they start laughing at me, I want it recorded. There'll be documentation. There'll be detention slips. We're going to work this thing out. But
it's
anyway,
going into our HR file.
Yeah, it's going into your file, Eli. But one of the things is just something simple as the basketball goals we put up there. You should have heard all the different stories of people saying, thank you for the goals up. Kids are playing again. It's nice to go through that area and see kids playing basketball. As many things are going to happen in the park. We got the pickleball going there. We're going to have the skate park next to City Hall here. That's the community that's missed. So much with the 65 interchange here has created almost a truck stop attitude, and we just had to get away from that. Now we're back to being a community. We're about sports programs and Shakespeare in the Park.
Right. Well, and there's such a combination of things going on. Like you said, the basketball court in front of Roby, that's nostalgic. For people like me who've passed that past that basketball court a million times, and you just see your friends playing, or you just stop by because there's a group of folks playing. It's a social, it's a community. And to put that back in, that's not a high investment ticket item, but man, does it mean something. I'm proud of you for doing that, and I know Lee Barger was a part of that. And
you did a great job.
And
man.
again, I think about that was Lee and Brent, and those guys were on that court constantly. So to bring that back is so special for our community, and I'm just so proud of you all for doing that.
I heard a lot of good stories from the parents that were there that had the kids there doing that. It was really cool. Eli, I'm going to tell you a story that I'm going to tell everybody here on this podcast. It was really funny when I was first deciding to run. I talked to Cortney, and she said, "Hey, I'm going to the baseball game," and I love baseball. And so we went to the baseball game, and I'm really glad that she doesn't live in this city. She knew everybody in the stands. I would have been beaten down. So it was interesting because we go there, and it goes to show you what Cortney says about community, because you can tell. Everybody that knows Cortney knows it. What would you do in high school? Were you kind of that down home thing? Were you a cheerleader? Were you cheerleading?
I was a cheerleader and a softball player.
Softball player. All right. See, we're going to learn more about Cortney and things that haven't gotten out there. But I think it's fun for you all to know that she lived that life experience of a small town. And like you and so many others, you want that back.
Absolutely. I want it for my children. I want it for my children. I want it for my grandchildren. Absolutely. They deserve it. The world is a tough place to be right now, tougher than we've ever experienced. So for us to provide those sporting events, a baseball game that you can grab a hot dog and cheer on your friends and your family and just have a little bit of a social atmosphere that's positive and encouraging, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's interesting. And one of the things that came up first, as simple as it seems, we had no recreational baseball, t-ball, and softball here for 5 years.
That's devastating for a group of kids.
Yeah, or Hillview. So now to have it back here, we had our parade for the second time this year. It was great. 2 years in a row we've had it. We're looking at developing our fields, building better programs. I just think having different things to do for different kids, right? We've learned that archery is a big thing here now, right? Bowling is still a very strong sport. We're trying to work on a private investment to get somebody to bring a bowling alley into the community. We have a lot of good opportunities, but you've lived it. I grew up in Hardin County, been here for over 16 years. We're seeing that right now that people are enjoying this for their kids and grandkids. But what we need to do is we have to sustain that. We also have to put sidewalks. We have to fix roads, and that money comes from the growth of the city. And I think between you, your relationship with the chamber is a big part for us to work on the business part. We're working with all of our partners here, all of our business partners, something, a different conceptual thing that's never happened in Shepherdsville is to reach out to your business partners and start building that. Hey, instead of you just building a big building here and just being here and paying your taxes and then never being involved, that's not what they want to really do. But you've got to reach out to them, start building that. And that's what me and you've been working on.
Yes. And I will give major credit to both Anita and Bob with the economic development in the chamber. I really see things moving in a direction we've not seen before. We are reaching out to these folks. We're inviting them in. We're introducing them to our community because they need us. They need us for recruiting. They need us and we need them. So I love the energy about this reciprocating relationship. And I appreciate you so much because I've not seen the city be involved the way it is. And it's only the trajectory is amazing because they want to be involved.
Eli, did you see that? She says I'm good about me, but I already showed the Visa card that I'm going to take care of her. That's how this works. Remember?
Well, you can't. You're not going to be able to do that once we get cameras going.
Because then they'll see the credit card number, and then I really want.
Exactly.
Right, but at least at this point, I'll start throwing dollar bills across the table. We'll make it all work. I do think it's interesting for most people to understand is that it's so close that we didn't know how close we were as far as the community wanting everything we had. It took just kind of igniting this a little bit.
Yes.
And now we do have the resources. We're in a financially good situation. And I think for most people is we want to be very transparent about what's going on behind the scenes because so much of it, what you don't know, sometimes you're always a little concerned. And so we're doing different things. We got social media that we have out there. We've got obviously a new website that we're using. So we always try to plug these things in these podcasts. So people have ways to go. You can go shepherdsvilleky.gov.
Yes.
Find out what's going on. We all know about Amber's been doing a great job getting all the information out there. A lot of team folks doing good. People need to understand this doesn't happen by one. There's a whole group of people doing a good job, and that includes Eli. Only compliment you're getting today.
I'll take it.
All right. But I think it's important for people to know that this kind of group attitude, this group thinking, getting things the way they need to get. Everybody's coming up with ideas. I mean, every other day somebody says, hey, I got an idea for the city. I love that.
Yes.
And so there's an investment piece.
Yes.
You do a lot of that already now. I think you got a great opportunity. I do think we have some good organization. We did a thing for Monday night for Sobriety Sisters. We gave them a check for $1,400 that we raised in one of our events. And I think that's the mayor's walk. And so we're going to continue to have that. We had a great meeting in the library on Monday with the Board of Health, talking about mental health issues, right? So we're not only just building this beautiful aquatic center. You mentioned EDA. Let's talk about tourism. That Whiskey, Wine, and Ale was a great event for us. What a partnership we had there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we gave a check for $11,000 to the turnaround to help women and families to really get back on their feet in dire situations. We're doing the same thing. We're looking at our veterans. Obviously, can't forget them. And then obviously those less fortunate in our society, how we have helped these men find job opportunities, get back on their feet.
And women.
And women. No doubt about that. I just think did I make a boo-boo? I just made a boo-boo, didn't I? I was just thinking of the other piece there. Don't be laughing at her, Eli. That means you're going to encourage her. She's going to criticize me again. We cannot. Who shows this? Do we forget? My name's on the show.
It's on the show. Yeah, the name is on the show.
Okay, I'm just making sure somebody may have forgot that.
To your point, we are doing so much, and it's like a triple effect. Not only the mayor's walk was a blast. For anyone listening that did not participate or you don't know what we're talking about, it was kind of like a color run meets a downtown tour with the mayor. And so it was just fun, and there were families. My kids and I did it, and we really had a great time. So we have this fun community event that brings families together. We raise money, which feels good, and then you give back to an organization that is working so hard to improve the lives of those here in the county. We are winning. That is a huge deal. So congratulations to you and Amber for what you did for the mayor's walk. But then the amount of money that was invested back into the turnaround, it's emotional. It's so I'm like so proud of what is going on here.
Yeah, there really is a lot of good organizations doing good things, and we got some of the churches we're going to be working with and trying to help those less fortunate. Because when people forget a little bit about the demographics of our community, we do. We actually have some economic opportunities for some of our families, and so this leads me into the thing that I'm just real proud of, and I want to throw at you is the aquatic center. We talked about the tourism piece and how that we're now going to be more part of why Bullitt County, why Shepherdsville, why come and see us. Well, we're going to have this beautiful aquatic center, a beautiful park, beautiful downtown area. So with all that said, one of the things that comes up is, how do we make sure that every child gets to experience that aquatic center. And
Yes.
so we're working on that now, and we have a foundation that's going to be raising money to sponsor kids, and our goal is to sponsor somewhere around 300 kids or more each summer to be able to enjoy 10 Saturdays that every Saturday while the outdoor pool is open, that they can go and either from a reduced price or free. And so we're working on. So one of the things that are coming up, the City Fair Bullet Blast is coming up. We mentioned no charge for the rides. It's going to be a blowout Friday and Saturday for our Bullet Blast.
Right. So the difference, let's say 5 years ago, if you were coming up, and even if you're a great student and you're from a family that just does not have the means to provide transportation that to Louisville so you could enjoy a pool, or you could go to a city event or a Bullet Blast type event. Now, looking at this year, next year, and the year after, you'll have access to a pool every single weekend for the summer. That is free. You get to be a part of this Bullet Blast. All you have to do is get there. You can ride for free all day. Those things, those kids will never forget what you're doing with some of this program, because it's not like it's being broadcast. This is some low income. No, it's everyone.
Everybody.
It's all inclusive. It just makes you feel like part of the community, not like you're not ostracized and you're not labeled. You're just a part of the community. And I love that. I love it.
I always got to throw this out there. We're going to, if everything works out just right, weather's good, a 60-foot Ferris wheel in the middle of the park. Eli's going to be at the very top of, hey, what are you doing up there?
I thought you ordered good weather.
I got that ordered.
Yeah.
I mean, just in case it's got to be put over in an apartment. Yeah, I ordered it already, Eli.
Perfect. Perfect.
But it should be great weather, but it's going to be a lot of fun. But those are things we're doing. In that, we're having a dunk booth. And right now, obviously yours truly was in it both times last year, but I've got some special guests. Tom Huff.
I saw that.
Brian Whitaker. Jesse Bacon has decided. Courtney Burton just volunteered. Did you hear that, Eli?
I think you meant Anita Stump.
I did hear that.
No, I think it was Courtney Burton.
I did hear that.
I think that's what I heard. I think so. This list is getting longer. I can't wait to tell my wife all these people are going to be in the dunking booth, and we're going to do it probably about 2.5, 3 hours on Friday and about 4 hours on Saturday. Because last year I did 5 hours, and it was a lot of work. You know how much work it is to go up and down that bench to sit back up there for somebody to...
I heard the word on the street is that it's $1 to participate if you throw the ball, but if you sneak the guy at 20, you can go right up and push the button and dunk you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I was taking...
I might have to sneak him a 20.
Yeah, because a lot of people, there was actually some... And we did raise some money. So that money will go towards that fund to sponsor kids, because we're going to get all that worked out. We'll have more details as we go along. I just think to embrace a community who has not had the kind of community that we needed now and we're getting now, I want everybody to have that experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so the message is very important. When you see renderings or you drive by and see the construction, do not feel like, oh, well, that's for someone else. Absolutely not. It's for you. It's for your family. It's for your kids.
Yeah, it's going to be about Shepherdsville, but it's about the regional area of Bullitt County, and we'll have so many people that will enjoy that experience. We want that to happen. So one of the things we try to keep this, and this is kind of goes back to more about me and how long I talk. So we try to keep these podcasts at a reasonable number. So for you, Miss Cortney, I want to make sure, what would you like to talk about? Just in finishing up today, what is the thing what's the message you want people to know about you and what you want to be about in your community?
The project that I am the most passionate about is the veteran memorial area of the park. As a veteran myself, and I've followed in my grandfather's footsteps, it is so special to me to be able to take something that is in my mind. And we spoke, and there's a group of us that developed. I just saw the rendering yesterday, and it makes me emotional because there's going to be an area in the park in downtown Shepherdsville that is more beautiful than anything I have ever seen in this city. It is so special, not just because each and every branch is listed, because it's beautiful. And the thing that I love the most, every single person that wants to be a part of it and want to put their loved ones' names on a stone, we're going to do that. So when I bring my grandchildren to come see my grandfather's name who served in Korea,
awesome.
how special is that? It's not just a fix. It's not just, oh, wow, they did some work. No, this is show stopping. It's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I can't wait to share it with the community. So the last thing I would just like to say is, if you are interested in being engaged in this project, if you want to be a part of this project, the Veterans Memorial area of the city park is absolutely outstanding. And I think people will drive and it'll be a destination spot, not just for those who've served, but for those family and friends who want to memorialize and remember and honor those folks. It's going to be beautiful and tranquil. The poppies, there's a field that's
gonna be cool.
It's so special. So I just want everybody, if you are interested in being involved, or just keep up with the social media, because when we start sharing the renderings, anyone who's attached to the military, you're going to feel it. You're going to see it. And the pride that comes over you when you see this beautiful area, it's just like nothing I've ever seen in Shepherdsville.
Yeah, we're excited about that. And that's going to be a big thing for us, is to get more information. This podcast is part of that. And there's an email address.
Yes, yeswayjosemail@gmail.com.
See, we don't need Travis.
No.
I mean, after you just delivered there, I mean,
Right, yeah.
Travis who? I mean, you got a brother?
Yeah.
Do you have a brother?
No, I deliver it better than Travis. Anyway.
So Travis, to you, when you hear this, you'll see that your job is on the line just a little bit. Hey, listen, Cortney, first of all, I cannot say thank you enough to what you do in this community, but I tell you what, there's nobody that reflects the love for this community like you do. And I mean that sincerely from everything I've seen around you, all the different organizations that you're involved with. And you're a family woman, and I tell you, you got love in that family, because I love your mom to death, by the way. I'm putting out a shout out for Pam. I love you. But I think it's important that you know that we see it.
Yes.
It's not just words. I mean, I've seen your actions, and I see things that you are. Thank God she doesn't live in the city, Eli. I would lose very badly.
Now, we are improving. We are leaving this city better than we found it, and that is it.
I think
enough.
that's a great comment to finish on. So listen, thank you very much for being here. We will have you back sometime down in the future. But Eli, what a great job today. And listen, good luck on your next season in Gagala.
Thank you. Yeah. The off season.
We're proud of your championship.
Yeah. Hey, listen, and listen, Travis, we do miss you. So on that note, thank you all for listening. Please share with everybody. Thank you very much for being here today.